Imagine this. A man meets a woman who awakens something deep within him. At first, he feels in control, confident, but then something unexpected happens. That woman doesn't beg, cling, or try to hold on to him at all costs. On the contrary, she lets him go. And it's in that precise moment when a primitive instinct, hidden deep within the masculine unconscious, awakens like a fire that cannot be extinguished. Carl Jung, one of the greatest scholars of the human psyche, taught us that true love does not arise from possession, but from mystery and freedom. When a man realizes a woman isn't desperate to have him, he feels something rare in these times: genuine desire. This isn't a cheap seduction trick, but a direct reflection of the collective unconscious, where the archetypes of pursuit and belonging manifest irresistibly. Before continuing, think. How many times have you seen a man obsess over a woman who seemed distant, almost unattainable? Does this happen by chance? Or is there something far deeper behind this phenomenon? What Jung revealed about archetypes can explain exactly why men fall more intensely for women who let them go. And what you're about to discover may completely change your perception of relationships. Have you ever stopped to think that often the real secret to making a man fall deeply in love with you isn't about conquering him, but allowing him to fall in love on his own? It might seem contradictory at first glance. After all, everything within us urges us to do the opposite, insist, prove our worth, show interest. But here's the catch: that need for control might be precisely what blocks true connection. The human mind operates through symbols, archetypes, and unconscious patterns. When we try to force love, we're actually blocking its natural manifestation. Jung teaches us that true love cannot be imposed because it arises from the unconscious and grows stronger when there's space for projection and idealization. When you allow a man to feel your absence, to have the space he needs to project his desire, his mind begins to fill that void with profound meanings. This is exactly the phenomenon that creates a connection beyond the superficial. When you try to control the process by sending insistent messages or trying to prove your worth, you interrupt this essential psychological mechanism. Instead of giving space for idealization, you become predictable, and predictability loses mystery, loses magic. True attraction isn't born from pursuit, but from the presence of a powerful archetype, that of the woman who knows who she is and needs no external validation. Men don't fall for women who chase them. They fall for those who have their own center, an unshakable energy. This isn't a game or an artificial strategy, but a deep understanding of the human psyche. When you become the source of your own value, your energy changes. And believe me, men sense this change, even if they can't explain it. They're drawn, almost genetically, to what they cannot fully possess, because it's precisely that sense of mystery and wholeness that awakens in them the desire to connect deeply. Jung stated that within each of us lie unconscious forces shaping our desires and decisions. A man doesn't fall for someone who throws themselves at his feet, but for the one whose presence activates something within him, something he feels compelled to discover. This is why letting go isn't an act of loss, but a movement of power. When you release the need to control others and focus on your own growth, you become an unforgettable presence. True love is born in freedom, not dependency. Before moving forward, think, how many times have you seen someone with a natural magnetism? Someone who doesn't strive to be desired, but becomes irresistible precisely by not seeking approval. This isn't coincidence. It's the result of a profound understanding of the human psyche. Today, we'll dive into this knowledge and reveal what truly makes a man fall in love, intensely and enduringly. What you'll discover may forever transform how you view relationships. When you demonstrate security and calmness, something powerful happens in the other's psyche. You transmit a silent, yet irresistible message. You don't need to control, retain, or manipulate anything. This is precisely the kind of energy that awakens genuine desire. Jung taught us that the human unconscious operates through symbols and deep patterns. When someone feels they're not being forced into something, their mind opens to explore, desire, and feel. Freedom creates space for true emotion to grow. The grand secret of attraction lies in mystery. Giving space sparks curiosity. When a man doesn't feel pressured to decide immediately, his unconscious begins working in favor of connection. He starts reflecting, feeling the absence, realizing what truly matters to him. That forced absence of control doesn't push him away. On the contrary, it allows him to build a deeper image of you. Instead of trying to mold his perception with insistent words or actions, you let your presence become something naturally valuable. Jung compared the process of psychic development to a path of individuation, where each person must walk their own journey. In relationships, this principle is essential. When you try to hold on to someone too tightly, you often generate the opposite effect: distance. Just as a butterfly flees at the slightest abrupt movement, a man feels repelled when he senses pressure. But when there's an environment of freedom and trust, he approaches willingly. This isn't a manipulation trick. It's simply respecting the nature of human desire. Therefore, letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting your own energy, what you have to offer, and the fact that what's true will always find its way back. Deep down, every human wants to feel their choice was authentic. When a man is truly interested, there's no need to insist or chase. The signs are always there. You just need to observe actions, not just words. Genuine desire isn't revealed in empty promises, but in consistent interest, spontaneous efforts to be present, and the way he shows your presence matters. True interest manifests in the details. An emotionally involved man remembers the little things, nuances about you others would ignore. Want to know if you've connected deeply? Remember that seemingly insignificant story you told days ago. He remembers not because he has to, but because he wants to. At the deepest level of his unconscious, he's already sensed something rare. Your presence isn't an obligation, but a privilege. Ultimately, true feelings aren't revealed in what's said, but in what's done. When you understand this, you realize the power of attraction isn't in chasing someone, but in becoming someone worth choosing day after day. The human psyche reveals itself not only in what we say, but in what we feel and transmit. Beyond observing a man's actions, it's essential to notice how you feel around him. True love manifests through care, consistency, and a genuine desire to be present, a desire born not from obligation, but from a deep connection between two essences that meet. Jung teaches us that the foundation of any authentic relationship isn't in what we try to force, but in what's built organically. When there's genuine harmony, natural magnetism doesn't come from tirelessly pursuing perfection, but from accepting who you truly are. It's not about flawless clothes or carefully rehearsed phrases, but the energy you emanate. When a man meets a woman comfortable in her own skin, one with her own identity, unafraid to express her authenticity, he senses something rare, a presence that doesn't seek approval, but simply is. This activates a powerful archetype within him, the desire to be near, not out of need, but choice. Thus, the first step to building this magnetic presence is strengthening your self-esteem. Ask, what makes you unique? What do you love about yourself? Instead of comparing yourself to others or trying to fit external standards, focus on what makes you special. When you reconnect with yourself and stop seeking external validation, something incredible happens. Your energy shifts. This shift can't be faked or forced. It comes from within. And trust me, others' unconscious minds perceive it instantly. Jung asserted that the energy we emit attracts what's in tune with it. When you align your vibration with the type of relationship you Desire, you unconsciously create a powerful attraction field. Instead of waiting for someone to fill a void, you become someone already whole. And this is precisely what attracts genuine connections. Subtlety also plays a key role. Mystery isn't hiding who you are, but allowing the other to want to discover you. If you take all control, you never give them the chance to show interest. Space for curiosity is what keeps the flame of attraction alive. Finally, the greatest force of attraction isn't in what you plan to say, but in how you live in the moment. The deepest connection arises when you're present, listening, laughing, surrendering to interaction without the anxiety to impress. When you drop the fear of judgment and simply allow yourself to be, magic happens. You become magnetic because true charm isn't about perfection, but authenticity. True seduction isn't about manipulation, control, or psychological games. On the contrary, it's born from authentic energy that naturally resonates with the collective unconscious. Jung taught us that everything we attract into our lives is, in some way, a reflection of who we are internally. This means that when you're aligned with yourself, secure and at peace with your essence, attraction happens effortlessly. Real magnetism emerges in the balance between making yourself present and giving space, allowing desire to manifest spontaneously and organically. Women who become unforgettable don't guard a hidden secret or possess forbidden knowledge. What sets them apart isn't a trick, but a simple truth. They know who they are and aren't afraid to express it to the world. They don't beg for approval, dramatize for attention, or live terrified of losing someone. Jung said, individuation, the process of becoming one's complete self, is key to living authentic relationships. Unforgettable women don't depend on external acceptance because they've already accepted themselves. The secret to this magnetic presence starts with self-care, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. These women understand that to attract something extraordinary, they must become the best version of themselves. This doesn't mean perfection, but commitment to their own evolution. When you invest in your mind, inner peace and well-being, your energy shifts. As Jung taught, everything in the unconscious manifests in the external world. How you feel about yourself directly reflects how others perceive you. Another essential factor is confidence in your own worth. Unforgettable women aren't preoccupied with proving anything to others because they understand their own sufficiency. This deep confidence means they don't need external validation to feel complete. They don't cling to relationships out of fear of being alone, because they know true love isn't born from dread of loss, but freedom of choice. They don't try to keep someone who wants to leave because they know what's genuine remains by its own will. Ultimately, the greatest power of attraction doesn't come from effort, but naturalness. Desire is born in freedom, in the space for the other to choose and feel for themselves. This is something the human unconscious instinctively understands. When you stop trying to be what you think others want and simply allow yourself to be who you are, you become magnetic. The difference between someone ordinary and someone unforgettable isn't found in seduction manuals, but in the courage to live your truth. Women who leave a profound mark on a man's mind don't do it with grand gestures or rehearsed words, but through how they make him feel. They don't force intimacy, but don't fear it either. Jung taught us that real connection happens when there's space for authenticity and surrender at the right time. Pressuring a relationship or acting from anxiety only creates unconscious barriers that push others away. True magic occurs when there's flow, when exchange happens without the need for control. This isn't a strategy, but a deep understanding of the human psyche. The difference between being unforgettable and forgettable lies in authenticity. It's not about pressuring, following rules, or applying formulas. It's about being. When you grasp this, everything changes. You stop seeking acceptance and start attracting people who truly value your essence. This happens because the human psyche detects what's real and rejects what's artificial. Jung showed us that when someone lives aligned with their truth, their presence becomes magnetic. What truly attracts isn't the need to be loved, but the security of knowing the right love will arrive. And that's the greatest secret. Unforgettable women don't try to be unforgettable. They simply are. They don't chase attention or validate their existence through others. They live so authentically that they become impossible to ignore. Thus, letting go of a man when necessary can be one of the most powerful acts you do for yourself. This doesn't mean surrendering to love, but creating space for something truly aligned with what you deserve. Holding on to someone against their will, insisting on what doesn't flow, only generates resistance and weakens your energy. Jung claimed true transformation occurs when we detach from the illusion of control and focus on the only territory we can truly change: ourselves. When you release what no longer serves you, something incredible happens. You reclaim your power, your energy transforms, and that's when the true power of attraction comes into play. The more you insist on something unbalanced, the longer you prolong suffering. But when you accept reality, something within you is liberated, and that liberation creates a powerful effect. Your vibration shifts, and your presence begins attracting what's in tune with your true worth. So, look inward and ask, does this relationship reflect what I truly want and deserve? If the answer isn't an absolute yes, it may be time to let go, trust, and allow life's natural flow to bring something truly at your level. Ultimately, true conquest isn't keeping someone by your side at any cost, but becoming someone who, simply by being themselves, is never forgotten. Often we're so focused on making a relationship work that we forget to ask if it truly makes us happy. Jung taught us that the human psyche seeks, above all, individuation, the path to wholeness. When we cling to someone who doesn't value us, we stray from that path, trying to fill a void that can only be filled from within. The real question isn't, how do I make them stay? But does this relationship reflect what I truly want and deserve? The next step isn't trying to fix or change others, but redirecting your attention to yourself. Every time you exhaust yourself trying to mold someone to fit your life, you distance yourself from your own power. Jung said everything we deny in ourselves ends up controlling us. Invest in yourself. Care for your emotional, physical, and mental health. Reconnect with your dreams and what truly matters to you. The stronger you grow internally, the more your energy field shifts. And here's the deepest secret. When you let someone go with love, without resentment or desperation, you don't just free them, you free yourself. This creates a powerful impact not only on your psyche, but on how others perceive you. Suddenly, you're no longer someone needing validation, but someone radiating maturity, strength, and self-confidence, qualities that are undeniably magnetic. Often it's this act of release that makes the other see your true value. However, letting go isn't just about them. It's about trusting life's process. Jung taught us there's a natural movement in the human psyche that always seeks balance. This means what's truly yours will never need to be forced. True love isn't born from fear of loss, but certainty that what aligns with your essence will always find its way to you. When you release what isn't genuine, you open space for something far deeper, whether with that person or someone ready to offer what you deserve. In the end, it all comes down to a choice. Keep trying to control what's beyond your reach, or embrace the power already within you. What you seek is also seeking you. When you work on your energy, self-confidence, and courage, the universe responds, bringing the right people, true connections and relationships, reflecting the love you cultivate for yourself. Be the woman who isn't afraid to let go because she knows what's real is never lost. Be the woman who leaves a profound mark, not by trying to impress, but by living her truth fearlessly. Love doesn't need to be chased. It's already within you, waiting to be shared. Trust your path, your strength, and above all, trust that what truly belongs to you will find its way in the right time. You deserve the best. Never settle for less. In the end, it all boils down to a simple yet powerful truth. True love can't be forced, only cultivated. When you learn to trust life's natural flow, strengthen yourself internally, and understand that what's genuine never needs chasing, something within you changes. And that change isn't overlooked. It transforms how people see you, how you relate, and most importantly, how you attract what you truly deserve. So the big question is, are you ready to stop insisting on what doesn't value you and finally become the woman who inspires, attracts, and is unforgettable? Not because she tries to be, but because she simply is. If the answer is yes, start now. Direct your energy to what truly matters, yourself, because when you become your priority, the rest comes naturally. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep receiving content that shapes how you view relationships and life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. And of course, if this resonated with you, leave a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. See you in the next video.